Hello, church. This is normally the slot where you would have midweek teaching from one of your pastors, but we decided to mix it up a little bit this week, like we did a couple weeks ago, and have some time for you to get to know your pastors. Today we have Van Barnhill and Leland Brown and myself, Matt Reagan. Maybe in future weeks we'll have some of our other pastoral staff on here if they feel comfortable with the meeting. But we want to take time to hopefully encourage you with some of our just Q&A and help you get to know us a little bit as we are entrusted with some of the shepherding of this flock. So Van Barnhill is our resident moderator, and he's going to be popping off some rapid fire questions today, and we're going to get into it. So go take it away, Van.
Okay. I feel like I know some of the answers to some of these questions regarding y'all, but I feel like I might learn a few things today too, so I'm excited about that. All right, for both of y'all, what book of the Bible have you been spending the most time in during quarantine?
Colossians.
Galatians.
My buddies are memorizing a couple verses a week.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm walking through Galatians with a bunch of young men who, as of a couple months ago, were knobs at the Citadel, but now are real people.
Oh, it's exciting. Do y'all have a favorite book of the Bible other than that? My answer was Psalms, by the way, particularly Psalm 145.
I love Psalm 145. My favorite book of the Bible is probably, it's either Hebrews or the back half of the last 27 books of Isaiah.
Oh, the last 27, not last 28.
Sorry, 27 chapters.
Yeah,
I mean,
I got you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really love 1 Samuel.
It's good. Do y'all consider yourselves? Do y'all consider yourselves?
Hold on, Leland is the. Let me just stop. Leland is the only person in the world whose favorite book of the Bible is 1 Samuel. But I appreciate that.
I thought through it last semester and just I just love the story. It's great.
I'm not saying it's not wonderful and inspired. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it is great. It could be a movie.
Maybe one in a million. Yeah.
Do y'all consider yourselves more introverts or extroverts? Matt, you don't have to answer this. Leland, what about you?
I'm probably a little less extroverted than Matt would be. Just kidding.
Just a little
I'm
bit.
an introvert for sure.
Yeah.
I love people, but alone time recharges me.
I love people, and time with people recharges me.
Yeah.
Always. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm definitely more introverted than extroverted. But I like people sometimes. 5
out of 7.
5 out of 7. That's right.
Yeah.
If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would you have dinner with?
C.S. Lewis counts?
I think he's a historical figure. He's a figure from history.
Yeah, he's probably the figure from history I know the best.
Yeah, I was actually thinking C.S. Lewis or Teddy Roosevelt, or maybe hanging out with both of them together and just not talking at all the entire evening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I am just finishing a biography about Napoleon. I would totally have dinner with him.
That'd be a weird dinner. Interesting.
It would be weird.
Yeah.
It'd be weird, but I would totally pick him. His life is so fascinating.
It'd end in execution.
Possibly. So C.S. Lewis for you, Matt. That's good.
Yeah.
Is there any particular book that you consider like particularly formative in your relationship with the Lord, like something you've gone back to again and again?
I have 2. Well, there's lots, but a couple that come to my mind. The Pursuit of God by W. Tozer was a big one because I felt like it put words to some of the longings of my heart in walking with Jesus. I read on my first summer project with Kids Outreach. And there's another one I read the next year. And this is going to be strange, but it's called The Journey of Desire by John Eldredge. And I don't agree with all of John Eldredge's theology, but it did allow me, that with desiring God began to help me understand how desire fits in the Christian life as a positive.
That's cool.
Delighting in the Trinity by Michael Reeves is probably the one book that I try to go back to every year, every other year. And I think just the picture of God as fundamentally loving in the Trinity is just foundational. Good.
Yeah, I do love that book as well. I think The Things of Earth by Joe Rigney is something that I've reread again and again, and just like certain chapters, and like as you said, Matt, like he puts words into things that I'm feeling. I think it's a really good book. Something I recommend often to people. Do y'all consider yourselves more Lord of the Rings or Star Wars people? We just had May the 4th yesterday. Did you celebrate or not?
May the fourth be with you. Yeah, very much a Lord of the Rings guy over Star Wars, and it's not close. I think the Star Wars
It's
story
not
is
close.
amazing.
Yeah.
The execution of Star Wars does not compare to the storyline, in my opinion. I think it's a little too hokey. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went through a season where I was on the fence, and I think since the last 3 Star Wars movie came out, I'm definitely Lord of the Rings all the
Yeah.
way.
It's good to hear. Y'all are in good company then. How do y'all feel about Cats? Not the movie or the Broadway show, but just Cats in general.
I love cats. I love
You
cats.
do?
My cat, Prickle.
know
That
that.
was my cat. She lived to 2.5. I love
That really
Prickle.
describes the personality of cats.
Yeah.
Great indoor outdoor cat, Prickle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge cat fan.
I could take him or leave him. No, I don't have
I would
like
leave
an
them.
aversion to him, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
If y'all weren't in full-time ministry, what do y'all think y'all would be doing for a profession?
I think I'd probably teach, like in college, philosophy, something like that. That's what I would probably desire to do. Yeah. Or late night talk show host.
Hmm.
That's my dream job. That'd be fun.
That would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, I could see you thriving as an entertainer, man.
Would you be more like Fallon or Kimmel or Conan? I could see
Well,
more like Conan.
I enjoy Conan, but I think Fallon, he plays games a lot and he uses music, and I like both of those things. I think Conan's the funniest for the record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would probably likewise be a teacher in some kind of college English, I think.
That's funny. I was going to say teacher as well. I think that maybe says something about why we're all in ministry.
Yeah.
Yeah. If or how about this? If you could eat anywhere soon as quarantine ends and have like a best scenario meal, where would you want to eat at? We'll limit it to the Charleston area.
Go first, Leland.
I have no idea. You go first. There's just so many options. I feel like I'm shopping for peanut butter at the grocery store. Like I just can't. There's just so many things to choose. Like picking one is impossible.
Mm-hmm.
It feels impossible to me.
Yeah, I think I would say Miyabi only because I love it very much. It's not the foodie answer, but I love the quantity, just sheer quantity. And because our last restaurant that we went to right before quarantine happened was Yamato. Yeah, Hibachi. So I feel like it would look into quarantine well.
And it's like one of the most anti-quarantine eating experiences I can imagine. Like it's very personalized and interactive and very close. You know, it's close proximity.
They're throwing shrimp in your mouth. Yeah, that's right. That's good.
I think I would have said Carmen Iwan's, this little Mexican place up near where we live up north in Mount Pleasant. But we've been going there anyways in quarantine and getting takeout because it's just that good. But I think that's where I go for sure.
Yeah.
I love that place.
I was joking with the guys in my community group that I would want to take it to one extreme or the other. I would either want to like swing for the fences at Hall's Chop House or Golden Corral and like nothing in between. Like I want like an extreme culinary experience one way or the other.
CC's, baby. Talk about
something like that. Something like that.
Eating pizza off the floor.
If y'all could attend any sporting event, which sporting event would you attend?
Ooh.
Game 7 World Series. Don't care who's playing. If it's at Yankee Stadium, bonus, but don't care who's playing.
I probably Wimbledon now because I've been to the Masters one time.
Yeah.
The best sporting event I've ever been to, 96 Summer Olympics. But I think as far as just the beauty of the venue included and the surreal nature of the venue, we went Wimbledon.
Yeah, that's good. I'd say Game 7, not of the World Series, but of the NBA Finals, just because I really like the NBA. If you could play any sport as a professional athlete and be like kind of middle of the pack, pretty good, you're going to have a solid career, what sport would you want to play?
Leland, you said baseball, right?
You know, I would have said baseball. I think I probably still would say baseball. Just the lifestyle is very difficult, though. It's 152 games a year. That's a lot. I
think my like fun answer would be something like basketball, but my lifestyle answer would be something like golf, because you have like you're like playing 3 or 4 days a week, and it seems like a pretty leisurely, long lasting career.
Yeah, I might say tennis only because it's the most truly international sport. You can be like on every continent over the course of the tennis season.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of travel, middle of the pack means you don't make that much money. But if I'm guaranteed to make enough to actually survive, I play tennis.
Do y'all gravitate more towards coffee or tea, or do you have an aversion to one or the other? I'll go first here. I don't understand how to drink hot tea. I've watched YouTube videos, I've read some articles. I don't understand what I'm doing. It tastes like weird flavored water. So I adore coffee. And the better it is, the more I enjoy it.
Leland?
I have an entire drawer in my house full of coffee paraphernalia. So I love coffee much more than tea, for sure.
Coffee tastes like gall and bitterness in my mouth. It's very, very bitter. I need like 6 sugars to drink it, and I'm already incredibly hyper and don't need that major boost. I drink British style tea with sugar and milk in it, 1 sugar and a splash of milk, like Earl Grey or Lipton.
Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. I would
day.
never think to put milk in tea. It's wild.
Oh, it's so good. Every day. Most days.
Coffee.
Outside of when you came to faith, do you have any singular experiences or seasons that you would say were very formative in your maturity as a man and as a Christian?
Yes. College was huge. Huge. Only because I had older students that their whole life was given. Basically, they said, I'm going to sacrifice whatever my comfort is so I can invest my life into yours, and spend a lot of time showing me, especially one guy, his name is Sims, showing me the freedom of grace, like the grace of the gospel, the reality, like you can live for a little while. And those 2 big concepts, along with a number of others, but those 2 big concepts totally changed the trajectory of my life in 1998, 99.
Say for me, the season of my life right after college, first real job, kind of navigating dating and engagement, and kind of like that just brought a lot of having to figure life out and take care of stuff and be mature. And that was really good for me. I needed that after college. So
yeah, I'd say my answer somewhere in between y'all, like the very end of college and then right after, because I was raising support, going to staff at Campus Outreach. I was getting engaged. Like it was a big point of transition. And it was super kind of fun to look back on. All 3 of us are products of Campus Outreach, and those college years and those right after college years are really formative and helpful for us. What's y'all's favorite thing about virtual church, if there can be a favorite thing about virtual church?
2 things. One, I like being able to get up and grab tea in the middle of the service and sit there and sip it.
Yeah. I was going to say a similar thing. I've been eating breakfast a lot of times, or like brunch during service, which is a rarity. Like I would never have like eggs and bacon in a pew,
Right. 2, my kids dancing and singing, both very much during like to the worship songs. Is like my whole family is together singing, and they built it. Some of them, one of them more than others.
Yeah. Do you think that would be something y'all could do when we get back to church in person? They could just like dance and sing.
I'll get Eli doing the worm and Zoe
perfect
doing all sorts of stuff. Yeah, right on the front. Yeah, it's good.
It's obviously not ideal. I do like that. You have to do minis. It kind of makes more ministry opportunities available. Like I couldn't really do a lot of evenings if I'm leaving the house, but Zoom helps with that. I think also it's just kind of fun when I'm on a Zoom meeting that seems to be important, and my kids like run in and grab the computer and steal the show. Like that. That's been kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's fun until it happens 12 times a day. And then it's less fun.
Yeah. Have there been any like home improvement projects or things y'all been doing around the house to kind of keep you busy during quarantine?
Yeah, we built a deck, and my dad and I built a deck, and we built some garden beds and planted a garden, and
That's awesome.
And we did the aforementioned trampoline. That was I'll call that a house project to get it there.
Yeah.
I mean, I got nothing compared to building a deck. I mean, we reorganized the garage, and that's about it. But
yeah, I did that. I think it was like a month ago, and I felt like it was going to be a really like helpful project. But the reorganizing the garage, and we're painting a nursery and some stuff upstairs just for our baby that's due next month.
So Matt, are you like a cut the boards, do everything yourself handyman? Like you got that? Is that you?
My dad is that. I'm the manual labor.
Yeah.
I've learned through owning a house how to do a good bit of stuff, but you can learn anything on YouTube. But
That's true.
my dad is he's the Bob Vila.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is there any surprising bit of information about you that most of our church members might not know?
Like some random
Like a fun fact.
historical talent? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was in first grade, I won the county spelling bee for first through third graders.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
That's
fantastic.
fun.
This is kind of silly and embarrassing, but I'm a card carrying black belt in that as a 13-year-old, yeah, I got a black belt, which, didn't really, in hindsight, doesn't mean that much, but they actually gave you a gold card, like a metallic gold card you could carry around with you, so you could actually be a card carrying.
So hypothetically speaking, if like 14-year-old you was about to get bullied, could you pull that card out and say, listen, buddy, you don't want any of this?
Exactly right. Yeah.
That's funny.
That's
I have a more fun fact, and I'm going to do it right now. Not more fun than Leland's, just more fun than my other one. This is a stupid human trick. This is a stupid human trick. I can close my one eye at a time like a doll's eye, where I don't use any other muscles. Like that.
It's not a wink. It's just an eyelid movement.
It's just an eyelid movement. I'm using no other muscles except my eyelid. And one of my favorite things is to ask people to try it and watch the facial expressions they could
I
into.
can't do it. It's weird.
Like that. Yep.
That embarrasses me.
Yep.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Last question for y'all. Are there any pieces of encouragement or just words of encouragement that you would like to say to our people as we are hopefully rounding out this quarantine season in the next few weeks?
I'm gonna just kind of paraphrase and mess up a quote from someone, but I read this quote by Elizabeth Elliot, and she was talking in hindsight about a season of her life, and she said, "It turns out," and this is paraphrasing, "it turns out that it looked like God was arranging everything for the maturity of individual souls." And I think one thing that might be helpful for us in this season is just to think about that we don't know the particulars of what God is doing and all this difficulty and strangeness, but we know that we're going to look back and see that He was really after the maturity of our souls. And I think embracing that that's a part of God's purposes and allowing that work to go on, I think will be something that helps us be encouraged and endure this season.
I think one thing I would say is that when life feels like it stopped moving, let it stop moving, so that there's so many temptations we have to find an identity in our movement, in our accomplishments, and the things that we're doing while life is going. And when life stops, I think the stillness is the time to remember all the things that God is for us before we can try to establish something that we are for Him or for others. And it doesn't mean that there aren't moments for right now to be helpful for others, but I think it is a good moment to reveal movement-based identities as opposed to all that Jesus for you without you having done anything. And so I think it's a good season to do that right now.
Yeah, it's great answers from both y'all. Thank y'all. Well, church, we love y'all. We miss y'all. We hope this has been encouraging to a certain extent for you, and we look forward to seeing you again in person, hopefully very, very soon.